People are afraid of getting old, but my owner isn't, and I know why. Hello, I am Casper. I am 3 years old. In dog years, that is almost 30, which means I have experience, but all my teeth are still intact, and I think I am getting old. Yesterday, I did not feel like running after a ball. Today, I did not want to get up early. Tomorrow, I may stop enjoying strawberries. But that is not certain. But you know what I do know for sure? My owner, Andrew, is 60, and I like the way he's getting older. My Andrew has a catchphrase. Age is just a number, and I don't believe in numbers. He says this every morning as he pulls on his designer t-shirt, which shines so brightly that for a few days I thought it was the sun. I like his style. He's not one of those people who has accepted their age. He's like an iPhone after 5 years of use. It still works, it still shines, it just takes a little longer to charge. Andrew plays tennis twice a week. Skis in the winter. Wakeboards in the summer. And somewhere in between, he goes scuba diving as if searching for the meaning of life. Or my bone, which I accidentally buried under a deck chair. Sometimes I worry, because it looks like he's trying to outrun time. Once I saw him doing face-down yoga. He was lying there, not breathing, not moving. I started looking for CPR instructions, but he just whispered, "Casper, it's Shavasana. I'm in the flow." In the flow of what? I thought. A second chance or a third magnesium capsule? Because there's this thing about you humans, you often confuse youth with loudness. But silence, in my opinion, speaks wiser. However, I noticed that the older Andrew gets, the more strange things appear in our apartment. A blender with a longevity mode. Omega 3.14159 capsules. A water bottle with the inscription "Drink and you won't die." And then there are the pills. I don't count them. But when I heard take these in the morning, after yoga, before bed, and when you think about the mortgage, I hid under the couch. Vitamins. Then vitamins for vitamins. Next, a cream that restores collagen. At first, I thought it was a new toy to chew on, but no. It's something serious. And recently he bought a facial massager that looks like an electric razor with a mood setting. New cream. New vitamins. New stretching mat. And the old phrase, something's not right with me. I don't know who he was when he was him, but as far as I'm concerned, he's wonderful. He cooks steaks. He rubs my belly. And he always leaves one sausage accidentally on the plate. And despite all that, I don't see fear in him. I see passion. For life. For movement. For breakfast, finally. And you know what's funny? He looks better than half the young guys in our park. They just take pictures with their coffee. And he takes a toast with vanilla spread and shares it with me. Because he knows I love it when something smells warm. And of love. And, preferably, of food. So when he sits down next to me, strokes my ear and whispers, "I guess I'm getting old, huh?" I think. Old is someone who doesn't want to learn anymore. And you don't even know how I learned to open the fridge. Old age is not a sentence. It's a status. Like veteran dog or retired sheepdog. And anyway, as I always say, if it hurts, lie down on the side that doesn't hurt. And if it hurts on both sides, lie down on a blanket and don't move. The dog isn't a doctor, but he knows what he's doing. And so you don't doubt me, I'll tell you a story from my life. So, it's morning. The park. I'm in uniform. Andrew is in his uniform from the store. Everything is as usual. I'm sniffing a tree. Andrew is sniffing coffee. And then something strange happens. A group of people in sportswear are standing under a tree and wrinkling their noses. No, not because of me. Definitely not this time. All in unison. Lips pursed, eyebrows raised, cheeks puffed out like balloons. Andrew stops. He reads the sign. Face yoga, minus 10 years, and at least 3 calls to the osteopath. Oh, interesting. He says and sits down on a bench. I sit down too, but sideways, because I need to see both the people and the pigeons. Just in case, I have to be ready to act. And then the face yogi, or, as I call her, the guru of facial expressions, shouts, Relax your face. Imagine that you are a spring cloud. I immediately imagined it. And like a cloud, I let out a little gas. Sorry, it's yoga. Then there was movement number 1, the glowing frog. Movement number 2, the oyster of surprise. Move number 3, emotional dolphin. And my life will never be the same again. I don't know what's worse, that I saw the facial expressions, or that Andrew started doing them with everyone else. He puffed out his cheeks, rolled his eyes, and looked like yesterday's toast from the microwave. And you know what's the scariest thing? He was happy, really happy, as if he didn't have enough time to live, so he was grabbing at anything that smelled like rejuvenation. And I sat there thinking, I wonder what facial collapse looks like, because I just saw it. And at that moment, an old lady walking her dog looked at Andrew and said, "Look how hard he's trying. I can tell he doesn't want to give up." And I thought, he's not giving up. He's searching. Like everyone else. The yoga class continued. And while everyone else was reaching for the sun, I started thinking about youth, about time, and a little bit about that piece of croissant that fell on the grass at the beginning of the class. Suddenly, the face yogi turned to Andrew and said, "You have a beautiful face, but there is tension in it. Try to let it go." And he, with all the seriousness in the world, replied, "It's not tension. It's just the face of a man who did face yoga at 7 in the morning and tried not to snort with laughter." The whole group laughed, and I was proud. My Andrew. Handsome. Even during the fish pose that never blinks. During the break, we sat down on a bench together. He wiped the sweat off his forehead, and I wiped my paw on the grass. Everything was as usual. And then Andrew said, "You know, Casper, I'm not afraid of getting old. I'm afraid I'll stop being myself, that everything I love will become unfashionable, ineffective, or just unimportant." I listened, and I wanted to say to him, getting old isn't when you get a new wrinkle. It's when you stop frying steaks because the internet says it's unfashionable. When you no longer run with me because you're too old. But he still cooks, and he still runs, and he strokes me behind the ear as if we've known each other for 100 years. He's not afraid of age. He's afraid that he'll be erased from the cover of life, like an old password on a laptop that no longer works. But I know, the real thing can't be erased. The real thing has a smell, like a sock you hid a month ago and finally found. And when he asks, "How do I look after yoga?" I look closely and say, "You look like my hero, and that won't change. Even if you had broccoli-scented lotion." You know, I've been thinking a lot about the years, about scars, about why old pillows are the most comfortable. And here's what I've come up with. Rule 1. Getting old doesn't mean falling behind. It means knowing where your bowl is, and that it's better not to let strangers touch it. Rule 2. Don't listen to people who say that, after 40, it's all downhill. First of all, downhill is also a path. Second, I'm here, and I'm right next to you. And if anything happens, I'll support you with my face. Rule 3. Your body is a tool. Sometimes it creaks. Sometimes it makes strange noises. But that's no reason not to dance. Rule 4. Your wrinkles are not wrinkles. They're a GPS map of everything you've been through. And if you can see where the sausage is, that's even better. And most importantly, old age is not the end. It's a lifestyle. Sit down confidently in your chair. Don't apologize for saying, "I don't want to." And always have a backup plan in your pocket. Maybe I'll go for it after all. Because life is not just your body. Life is who strokes you behind the ear, who waits for you in the evening, and who says you're cool even without face yoga. And you know what I say to Andrew every night? I'm here, and you don't have to be younger. You're already my favorite. That was Casper, a golden retriever, a philosopher, a dreamer, a dog who wasn't afraid of getting old. Because every morning he woke up knowing he had Andrew. Everything else was just details.